I'll bet you can hear me now. Good morning, everyone. I'm so excited to be here with all of you. Welcome to the love and light that is Unity of Lawrence on Zoom. My name is John Pryor, and will be your worship assistant for this morning. As you're all aware, in Unity, we begin everything with prayer. So let's join our prayer chaplain, Karen, as we will begin our service by opening to that divine presence we know is within us.
Good morning, everyone. Let's just take a few gentle breaths in and out and center in. And we close our eyes to the outer as we move to that inner space, that center of our very being, that center that is the love and the light of all that is. We open our hearts into that space, and we know that we are connected, even though we are distant. We are connected here as a unity of seekers and of lovers of the light. And we seek to love and support one another along our spiritual paths to enhance each other in our spiritual growth. And we know that we can do this even through the Zoom, and we are connected. And Spirit lives in and as and through us. And for this, we are grateful. We've gathered together today to enjoy the message and the music and to be grateful and thankful together as we move through this winter time and through the dark times and through the times of happiness and joy. We seek connection, and we find that here, and we find that within and through each other. And again, we are grateful. Ah, yes, breathing in and breathing out. All is well. And so it is. Amen.
Amen. Please join Holly in singing If It's to Be by Sue Riley.
Good morning, Unity. Good to see you today. If it's to be, if it's to be, if it's to be, it's up to me. If I seek the truth, let me speak the truth. And if I'm lost in doubt, let me believe. I know I can be the change I want to see. If it's to be, if it's to be, if it's to be, it's up to me. And if I'm tired and stressed, let me stop and rest. And if I'm feeling hurt, let me forget. 'Cause I know I can be the change I want to see. If it's to be, if it's to be, if it's to be, it's up to me. And if I dream of peace, let me be the peace. And when I'm found in love, I am love. I know I can be the change I want to see. If it's to be, if it's to be, if it's to be, it's up to me. And it's up to me. It's up to me. It's up to me.
Thank you, Holly. Now it's time for our unity intentions. Please affirm with me unity's founding principle. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the source of all good. And now our Unity of Lawrence vision. United in divine love and joy, we celebrate a peaceful and abundant world for all. And finally, our UOL mission. We are a thriving spiritual community, sharing love, building bridges, and inspiring transformation. C.S. Luxem is a solo artist, songwriter, and collaborator who has performed all over the United States and Europe. He is a Lawrence gem who embodies the music with a timeless essence. Please welcome C.S. Luxem. Thank you very much, CS. That was wonderful. Now it's time for our speaker. Danica M Moore is a shoe-obsessed, sports fanatic, experienced scholar, practitioner, nonprofit founder, and lifelong learner with demonstrated history working in education management systems. Her early educational career began in spiritual organizations at the age of 10, redesigning youth education content and lessons for K-5 students. Later, she became involved with K-5 summer school opportunities for a public school district in a rural area. These experiences created the foundation for her BSE, or Bachelor of Science in Education, in elementary education from the University of Kansas, followed by an MSE focused in curriculum and instruction with an emphasis in TESOL. While she has taught every age from toddlers to adults, one thing she has learned is that great teaching can reach any age and adds to any experience. Combining her passion for young learners and designing meaningful learning activities, Danica joined the youth education staff at Unity of Lawrence almost 15 years ago and has worked her way up from a nursery attendant to coordinating the youth education department, creating engaging children's lessons and activities aligned with adult messages. If you were to ask her about her why, she will gladly tell you, everything I do is for the kids, no matter where I am or what I'm doing. Please welcome Danica.
Good morning, everyone. Good to see you all. As John said, my name is Danica. I'll be with you today through this message. So the message today is called Disregarding the Wrong and or Spiritual Things. And so to get started, I want to give you all a gift today. And so I'm going to put something on the screen that is for all of you. And I want you to just sit with this gift for just a little bit because it's not often I come bearing gifts. But my gift to you each today is this. I want you to just sit with this gift that's on the screen. And whatever comes up for you with this gift, I want you to sit with that. So there you go. Everybody's $3 richer today. And I'm not quite sure how you feel about that, but I will tell you a little bit about what this $3 means to me and the lesson I learned with $3 and disregarding and regarding the wrong things. So some people know my mother is a dialysis patient and has been. It will be 4 years this spring. And so the journey of that with our family has been something life-shattering, but also lessons learned. So last year in January, we were leaving an appointment at KU Med and leaving the parking lot. Well, actually, it was not KU Med. It was some branch of KU Med that I don't know what it's called. But there was a parking lot we park at. It's always pretty littered with trash, I've noticed. But this specific day walking out, there was this wad of trash. It looked like something I should keep my eye on. So leaving to get back in the car, I discovered there's this wad of money. And I was very excited to go back and get it because in my family, since childhood, I'm the kid that always finds money. I remember finding a $100 bill when I was like 9 years old and all the older cousins trying to con the money out of me to go spend it at a concession stand. I remember finding $25 on the side of the road while driving in the car out the window with my grandma. Like, hey, grandma, pull us some money. So I was the kid that was always on the lookout for money. Why? I don't know. I just recognize cash when I see it. I'm not the person that finds like, 25 cents here or there. I usually find cash. And sometimes I find this cash after being given some vision to go do something. For example, in college one day, I was really venting about something and somebody told me to take a walk. And on this walk, I found a $20 bill. And I was like, this is why I was going to walk. So that's how I feel about like money for me. Cash anyway, because I never have cash on me. If I have cash on me, there's a good chance I probably found it. And I don't typically deposit it sometimes because I'm hoping I might find the original owner to give it back. So if you're like me, finding $3 may not be much to you, as it was not to me at this specific day. One, because I'm an expensive medical center and we've been going in these things for years. Two, in this massive amount of trash, I'm thinking, well, if someone was throwing out trash and threw out their money, it must be a mistake, so I probably shouldn't have it. But also I'm thinking things like, well, if it's for me and I'm going to keep it, the quality. I want to let my bills a little crispy, like I'm brand new, like these little ruffled and they've been through some stuff. They've been in a puddle of water in this parking lot. They're not good quality. Quantity. I want a little bit more. I need like some 5s and 10s, some 20s would be nice, but there's just ones in this little wad of money. I'm not satisfied with this quantity of this money I found. And then I have questions like, where did it come from? Who dropped it? Are they looking for it? Is this all the money they had? Do they have a specific mission for this money? I have a lot of questions about this money. And then the quickness of it. This is $3. How quick can I spend this? If I choose to invest this, how quickly can this amount to millions for my millionaire dream? I have a lot of questions about this and the quickness of how this money is going to provide some fruition for me. Like, what does this help me reach in success with this $3? How does this quickly help me build my current bank account? It really doesn't, right? So those are the 4 things that, when disregarded spiritually, can take us to the wrong path. So just thinking about the story of $3. So let me go backtrack and tell you a little bit more about $3 and how they became this spiritual representation for me of what it means to be focused on disregarding or regarding the wrong things. So that specific day in the hospital, we have been waiting this whole time to hear that my mother is even just back on the transplant list and all that goes with that process to be on the transplant list. And so that specific day, we bounced around to multiple medical teams, moving my mother to Lawrence, Kansas, and Topeka was all about getting her to quicker medical services because of the speed that folks get kidneys out of KU Med compared to anywhere else in the nation. So moving her here was specifically for that purpose and not much else. So to be here this whole time, so she will now have been here 3 years this coming spring, but fighting this for 4 years. It's not been a very quick process for us, but we were assured that in this process was like life and death. We were assured that 7 years is actually like on track for KU Med, which I was not thinking like that's a long time to be sitting in the space of having kidneys that function at 13%. But that specific day, we were sent to this one because we've been told for so many years about even getting her on the transplant list. Functioning kidneys under 20% should be the top of the list. But to be at 13% functioning and you're not on the list at all, there's a lot of questions about that. And that's where my family's been. This specific day, I went in this appointment because I'm the driver to all the appointments. I went in with the worst attitude ever because I was already thinking, I don't like how doctors talk to people at all. The idea that she's not even sitting in the room when they talk about her health. The idea that she's not worthy of a kidney, and also the idea that we don't present as a family that would have these sources, AKA finances, insurance, to be able to get this kidney. I also don't appreciate the government's swindling of how the healthcare system works for people who need kidney transplant. So there's all that. So that's my attitude walking into this appointment. And so I was actually shocked because we sit through, and if you've ever had to go through this with anyone who needs a transplant, it's like you go to the room and they sit you in a conference room and different teams of people come in to meet you every 30 minutes. So you might have like the social work team, the nutritionist comes in and talks about how's your eating going. I don't know what all they do. There's all different roles. And at the very end for kidneys, you get the neurologist who comes in, who's the person who would give you the surgery to put the kidney in. And the neurologist kind of looks at all the information all the other people compiled in their discussions with you and your family and says, you know what, I looked at everything they said, you're good to go, or they tell you no. We've been sitting through this for a long time, years of this appointment takes all day with all these sessions, and the answer is always no, or not yet, or try again next year, or something that gives a little bit of hope, but not a lot, right? And so this specific day, the doctor came in and he said, I don't see why not. And I almost passed out because I was so used to hearing these no's. I was so used to being told this is not going to happen for you. You're not even going to be on the list. And so to be told that that was going to happen and they could assure it by the end of 2020 was like the most mind-blowing experience ever for myself and my sister to be at this appointment, be told like there's actually some hope here. But I remember that he also said, I don't see why not. It's been 3 years. And he kept referencing this 3 years like this magical turning point. So to leave and find the $3 in the parking lot, I was like, wait, $3, 3 years. So 3 came up multiple times in this discussion. The number of years we've been waiting, the position on the list, the number of years that she'd been provided for. So this idea of provision showed up in the $3. So when I got home, I was really sitting with this $3 is like, there's a lot of symbolism here in this $3, but I almost missed it because I was focused on the wrong things. I was focused on quality of the dollar bills. I was focused on the quantity. It was too small. I wanted to find something bigger. I had the wrong questions about it. And I was worried about how quick I could do something with it or what the turn would be for me. Those were the wrong things to focus on. Now, there were things to focus on in those 4 categories. I just focused on the wrong ones. And so in this walk of spirituality we live in, for this idea to connect to an omnipotent power source, when I think about quality, I have to sometimes ask myself, sometimes what I see as poor quality is actually the best quality deep down. For example, I really want an air fryer. I don't know why. I don't even like that kind of stuff, but I want one because it's a trendy thing to have right now because I missed the Instapot wave. So in searching for an air fryer last night, I see the quality, these 5 stars, but they're all rated 5 stars at Kohl's.com. Every single brand, New Wave, Vortex, Ninja, stuff I've never heard of that I can't pronounce. They're all 5 star. And I'm sitting here thinking, but the prices showed the differently. So I'm thinking the higher price means better quality. But sometimes in our spiritual life, we can get convinced that the quality based off what we see is actually what's going to be under the surface. And in spiritual lens, we have to actually know what is quality designed for us, because quality has all different definitions. This is why a lot of people can be very comfortable shopping at a thrift store and have no shame in that. I had some cousins argue about this with some leather gloves. The quality of leather gloves my cousin found at the thrift store was top notch. Those gloves were valued at a very high price. My other cousin, we call her bougie, she was like, no, it's not for me, regardless of the quality. So looking at the wrong thing, I might miss the quality of what my spiritual lens is supposed to be pulling out. So focusing on, we talk about our omnipotent power sources, it's all good. But what sometimes gets forgotten in that is sometimes what's meant for us is not just good, it's actually the best. And the quality of that and how my spiritual lens helps me understand what is the best for me and what's just good for me is a different walk that I have to be able to navigate through. And there's ways to get there. Second thing, quantity. The quantity of the dollar bill was not a knot. I like to find 5s, 10s, 20s, and typically I'm not gonna lie, the smallest bill I've ever found is a 20. So to find 3 ones on a specific day, okay. My first thought was if we pass someone on the corner that's needing some money, I'm dropping these $3 bills in their little cup because this has no value to me. I was focused on the quantity. And so in life, when we are going through things, spiritual beings believe that some people believe that spirituality is all about like having a perfect life. And so the quantity of how things come to us, the quality of how they come to us can be a focus. And so the quantity of time I put in, the quantity of time I spend praying, the quantity of time I spend writing messages to deliver to people, that should have some kind of fruition. But also the amount. So sometimes I get caught up in the amount and the time. There are some things in life that the Spirit wants me to have in a short amount of time, and some it should take a longer amount of time. So this kidney process, for example, I don't know what the amount of time is for my mom to get it, but I do know that whatever it's supposed to be, my spiritual lens says it's going to be just the right quantity of years that she's had to wait, and it will be just the right quantity of years for my family to learn some very, very lifelong, sustainable lessons that we can use to give to someone else in their time of need. Questions. Asking the wrong questions or focusing on the wrong questions can get you the wrong results quickly or take you off the track that you want to be on. Example, interview questions. I coach a lot of organizations to look at their interview questions. A couple weeks ago, I got asked to look at some questions to hire a volleyball coach because of a coach termination due to some event that happened with the coach responding incorrectly. And so when I was sent the questions, I noticed that the questions really centered on what does this person want to do on their own, like almost go rogue. I had to ask one of my organizations, so if you're trying to get someone to come into your organization to do what you're focused on, how do these questions help you identify that? So questions mean everything. And so sometimes when we experience things in life, we might ask, why, Spirit? Why, God? But maybe sometimes the question is, what's in this for me, God? What's in this for me, Spirit? So the finding of this money, for me, I was thinking like, where'd it come from? Why is it so dirty? Who threw it in the parking lot? But the real question I should have been asking is, what does this $3 symbolize for me in this experience that we had today? That was a better question to focus on. Not where did it come from, not what could I possibly do with $3, but just thinking about centering on just what is the purpose in this for me and what does this symbolize? And not oftentimes in life do we discover things and ask what's the purpose for us, especially finding things. Now, I will say that when we go through things, we quick to ask a lot of questions like, why did this happen to me? Woe is me. But there may be a better purpose in that because, again, spirituality does not equal a perfect life. It literally just equals that we have a better grounding when things happen to us, and we have a power source to help us pull through those things. That's all that means to me. I don't know about other people. Quickness. The quickness of how we can get things and flip them. For example, back to the air fryer. The whole thing about the air fryer now is quickness. And so that sounds pretty cool. Like if you're busy, an air fryer is a pretty quick thing. Now there is a little TikTok out there about like it's the idea of like these are the lazy chefs around the world. Oh, well, it's probably helping people that can't cook anyway, right? So the idea of quickness and wanting things right now. So in my mind, if someone tells me they're sick, they need to be fixed and healed right now. Kidneys don't work that way, and I've learned that through this journey with my mother. So while it's been, I could say, only 3 years, when I think about the long haul, that there are people like the longest time is on the East Coast is 14 years. I think, wow, like to be in the Midwest is actually a true blessing to have a kidney transplant. And to hear that people relocate to be within an hour of KU Med from both coasts just for that timeline. So the quickness of it, so quickness to me from 14 years, me not having a kidney disease, I'm thinking 14 years, I want that down to 1 month. Like from the time you tell me I have kidney failure, I want new kidneys in 1 month. But to a patient going through that, to know that 3 to 7 years is actually like a life-changing number, the quickness of how much I want things in the right now of it, if I get focused on how quickly it will happen, I might veer off the path, because then what happens, what's designed for me in my spiritual walk, when I try to get to the quickness level of it, it means I'm going to do some things to offset what the omnipotent source has for me, which means now it's going to take even longer to get there. And I'm messing up the timeline that was already designed for me in the spiritual realm. So to be mindful of that, I'm always now thinking about what are the 4 things I'm disregarding or regarding at the wrong time for the wrong things. It's quality, quantity, questions, and quickness. And those 4 things, when they're centered, they help keep me in a space of gratitude, and they bring about this idea of peace. It really centers peace, because the spiritual lens would say that when I see things, things happen to me, I notice things, I observe things with other people. If I'm thinking about those 4 things in the way that I'm designed to think about them spiritually, then I have a space of gratitude and peace with everything going on. And that is what I can give to other people in their most heightened time of need. So this equates to friendships, it equates to job applications, even in your friends. There's a quality of friendship that you need, there's a quantity of friends that you need, there's questions you have to ask friends, there's a quickness of how quickly you make friends. All those things have to be questioned. The wrong one of any of those, you end up with the wrong people in your life, you end up on the wrong path, the wrong influences. So having a spiritual lens is something that everyone has to really think about, and using that spiritual lens to interrogate those 4 things for what's meant for you and what's supposed to be for you. So I believe that God is not a God of the mediocre, but I think God takes that which is limited and makes it limitless. So when I think about quantity, whatever seems small, the $3, there's something limitless within that. There's a limitless promise for my family. There's a limitless ability to think about this idea of provision, because in this timeline, my mother has not worked since I was in college. But there's never been like, she's always had provision. And I think that is something from the divine. I don't think it was just by chance. We've never had to do like a family fundraiser. I'm not a millionaire, nor is any of my siblings, but the fact that she's always been provided for, she's always had a roof over her head, she's always had a car. So all those pieces, like that's the idea, like mediocre. This is why I say that, like, while God is good and an omnipotent source of good, I also think what God has for people is great. And to know that someone can sustain that level of life and have great standing is what a spiritual lens can do for some people. So to move us into the meditation portion of today, I want to just invite people in to hear an affirmation for your life. In a lot of spiritual spaces, maybe you've noticed it before, but a lot of spiritual things are related to farming and agriculture, like this idea of like sowing, reaping, planting seeds, faith the size of a mustard seed. So agriculture is a big piece of how folks should think about their spiritual lens. So I want to invite you to just lower your eyes while I speak some things over you today to help you center and reflect on how to regard or disregard the wrong and right things involving the quality, quantity, questions, and quickness for what is to be for your life and your purpose. God, grant me the patience of a planter who plants seeds unknowing of the weather to come, the fruit that they will bear, and the people they will impact. God, grant me the foresight of the farmer who looks at a mass of vacant land and understands the productivity that exists there, involving the quality of soil, the right amounts of water, and the crops that can then be produced on that specific land in that soil. God, grant me the mindset of the sower who lays seeds everywhere that they go, before and behind them, not thinking about what they will produce, but only thinking about what it will take to make them come to fruition, such as watering and sunlight. God, remove my worry on outcomes and direct my focus to the inputs that you have placed for me to do in my spiritual purpose. When I feel seasons of famine in my spirituality, remind me to reconnect through my prayer source, my service, and my experiences. Shift my spiritual lens to be that of a first-class noticer, someone who sees what the Spirit wants me to notice so that I can recognize the talents of those around me and within myself, identify the opportunities that exist for me, my friends, and my loved ones, and that I can avoid the pitfalls that would take me away from the ultimately divine purpose that you have designed and created for me to do. Thank you.
Back upon the mended road, I paused, taking time to check the dial. In the lily white, I never knew her name. She'll be passing my way sometime again. Raise my hand and touch the wheel of change, taking time to check the dial. Think the lily white never knew her name. She'll be passing my way sometime again. She'll be passing my way sometime again.
Thank you, CS. That was wonderful. And Danica, I want to apologize for mispronouncing your name. It's Danica, and you were fantastic. I really, really enjoyed your talk and got a lot out of it. And now it's time to give thanks and offering. I invite you to join me as we hold our gifts to this community in our hands and love in our hearts. Let's affirm together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Let's join Holly in singing Sacred Love by Daniel Namad. Please go online and give via PayPal or write a check and mail it to Unity of Lawrence. Thank you.
You are sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love is all that you are. You are deepest joy is all that such a holy place, such a holy place. You are sacred love, sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love, sacred love is all that you are.
Oh, let's just take a moment and open our hearts. We know that this is a beautiful community, and we are grateful that we have this connection and that we have the ability to reach one another through the Zoom application. And we're grateful that we're together in spite of being apart, and that we continue to thrive, that we grow. And we are grateful for the good in our lives. And we are grateful for all the gifts that flow to us and through us. We are sacred love. We are sacred joy. And for that, we can be ever so grateful. And so it is. Amen.
I wanna see something that used to be in your eyes again. I'm waiting to see it. You know it's only a question of when. 'Cause I know how much you're missing whenever you know that you're missing, and only you know where you have been to. Only you know what you have been through. There's better things you're gonna get into. I wanna be there too. I know it's not easy for you to start to believe again. And when the day comes, don't let yourself be deceived again. 'Cause I know how much you've been waiting. Been such a long time that you've been waiting, and only you know where you have been to. Only you know what you have been through. There's better things you're gonna get into, and I wanna be there too.
Thank you, CS. It's time again for announcements. Our 2021 Board of Directors are President Kathy Pryor, Vice President Cheryl Miller, Treasurer Dave Geyer, Secretary Janet Morgenstern. Members at large are myself, Diane Silver, Karen Langsford, and joining the board this year, Amy Yee and Ann Furlong. The board will discuss new team contacts at their February meeting. Stay tuned. Remember that our website is updated regularly with new information about continuing and upcoming events of interest in our Unity community. Check us out at www.unityoflawrence.org. Even though the building is closed, the church office is open. Please contact Kathy by phone 785-841-1447 or email info@unityoflawrence.org if you have feedback about our services, need more information, or have a request. Join us next week where we will have Kelly Hunt bringing us the music and the message of Valentine worth giving and receiving. And now it's time to bless our youth and each other. So let's rub hands together. We love you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity in you. Okay, thank you. Now let's sing the peace song with Steve Epley.
Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, children all are we. Let us walk with each other, perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me.
Now it's time for the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you all for being here. We invite our speaker and others to stay online for a few minutes to visit via Zoom. Thank you.